According to a report by Global Times on July 7th, Trump made a direct statement yesterday regarding the severe flooding currently affecting Texas, saying that this is a once-in-a-century disaster and truly shocking. It is reported that the flood has already caused at least 79 or 80 deaths locally, with another 41 people missing. But judging from the situation, such a heavy toll of casualties is likely to keep rising. Among those who are dead or missing are at least 20 elementary school students who were participating in summer camp activities. Their parents can only pray silently at home, hoping their children will be safe. What's more, since the disaster happened during a weekend holiday, many tourists were in the area, making it extremely difficult to account for all the missing people. Given the level of modern technology, it really shouldn't be possible for a heavy rainfall caused by a tropical storm to result in over 100 casualties. Local residents widely blame the Meteorological Bureau for inaccurate and seriously delayed weather forecasts, which left people without enough time to seek shelter and ultimately led to such severe casualties. In response, some local officials have already admitted that there was no effective warning issued before the heavy rainfall arrived, which constitutes a dereliction of duty by the local government departments. Of course, some members of the public have also pointed the finger at Trump, believing that if he hadn't ordered the layoff of hundreds of employees from the National Weather Service, there wouldn't have been critical vacancies in the Texas branch. They argue that Trump's reckless downsizing of government departments has seriously undermined the Weather Service's ability to issue warnings, ultimately leading to this once-in-a-century disaster. Of course, aside from this reason, the severe casualties caused by this flood are also closely related to the long-standing multiple shortcomings in the United States disaster management. Disaster management in the U.S. has always been widely criticized. They do not implement a system where the chief official is held responsible, which means that no matter how serious the disaster is, local leaders can continue to go about their business leisurely, without having to care about the dire situation faced by ordinary people. If such a disaster with hundreds of casualties were to happen in China, it would at the very least result in a large number of officials being dismissed or demoted. This is also why, in places within China where disaster response is handled well, under the chief responsibility system, whenever a major disaster occurs, local leaders treat it as a top priority, immediately dispatching people for rescue and relief efforts in order to minimize casualties as much as possible. But in the United States, no matter how severe the disaster, it's rare for officials to be held accountable. Even in the case of a major incident like 9/11, which resulted in thousands of deaths, not a single official in the entire country resigned as a result. This would be absolutely unimaginable in China. Many American officials believe that the government has no obligation to carry out rescue and disaster relief. They see such efforts as something only socialist countries would do. When disaster strikes, ordinary people can only rely on their own abilities to solve problems. They can't blame the government for it.